Virgo Rising, you seek to perfect and fix the world around you, and we will talk about why. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Mina. If you don't know me, I'm an astrologer who's very passionate about sharing my knowledge with you guys. If that's something you like, smash subscribe so you can stay connected with me. I do release weekly videos. And please leave me some likes on my videos. It helps spread the good work I'm doing. Thanks in advance. Here we are with another rising sign video. Sorry it has taken me a bit to get to you Virgo risings. I'm extremely sorry. I've been busy with readings, thank you, and doing those love compatibility videos you love so much. But I'm here for you guys now and I'm really excited to talk about you. And yes, so what is a rising sign? The rising sign is a psychological lens through which we see the world. And it is like an armor that we use to keep ourselves safe and to help us navigate life on a daily basis. And it really does explain our basic behaviors and our fight or flight survival response in life, because it is tied up with that frontal cortex in our brains. So it's a very automatic, innate energy, just like our moon. Our moon is our automatic emotional needs, our core. Our rising sign is our armor, what makes us feel safe and grounded in this life, and how we see the world, how we navigate and solve problems in the world. So two things that are super important, super natural for us to embody. We're just born with our rising sign energy, with our moon energy. So very important placements here. They are not a mask. The rising sign is not a mask. It is a hugely important point in your chart and is very personal. It's an energy that is meant to be understood, not changed. So let's dive in. How does Virgo rising see the world? We will talk about this. Then we will go into what is a Virgo rising looking for in a partnership? How can you polish yourself up, Virgo risings? And we will end off on love tips if you're interested in capturing a Virgo rising. So stick with me. How does a Virgo rising see the world? Well, a Virgo rising sees the world as a place to analyze because they're extremely intelligent. They're ruled by Mercury, the planet of the mind that explains how our mind works and how we output information, how we communicate with others. So that's tied up with the element Earth. So they are very concerned with analyzing their physical environment and perfecting it. That is all that mental energy tied up with practical earthly existence. And it is very flexible because it's mutable. So that means that Virgo rising is constantly rearranging things in their life to make it more perfect, to make it more optimal. That's their thing. They view life as like moving pieces, and they take these moving pieces and they're always rearranging them or repurposing them, getting rid of them, getting new pieces in, trying to make the perfect physical situation for them to enhance their practical lives. This is what makes them feel safe. And mutable energy is really not controlling, but Virgo is the most controlling mutable energy, which is kind of strange because mutable energy is very free-flowing. Not with Virgo. Virgo rising feels in control and safe when they have the ultimate control over their physical environment and daily practical life, which is why they're often very happy when they move out on their own and they do have that level of control. The only time I don't see this is if they live with people who are on the same page with them, like if they're this certain level of organized, which they are very organized people and the other people are too, then they can kind of jive with that. But yes, they need to feel in control of that environment. That's what makes them feel safe, and that's how they navigate the world. They navigate the world through logic. They have very strong minds. They're analytical. They dissect things to the core, and they like to understand things in simple, clear ways. Like they learned something in their mind, they have like a list of steps, and that's how they learned how to do whatever process they're trying to learn how to do. They break things down into steps because they want to know things on a very micro level to fully understand them. And that's why they're very clear communicators most of the time, because they break things down into their most simple form so they can clearly communicate things to other people. And they feel safe with that clean knowledge in their minds. Like they feel very empowered with that. And the way I see Virgo rising is like, think about building a fish tank. like, you know, arranging one. You buy the tank, you buy the rocks to put at the bottom, you buy, you know, the specific kind you want, you pick the color, You put the little castles in there for the fishies or any other trinkets. You monitor the chemicals in the water. Like, you have complete control over that physical environment. And that is kind of how Virgo Rising likes to live their life. They're always, like I said, rearranging things, trying things out to achieve an idea of perfection applied to their earthly existence. And because they are an earth sign and they're ruled by Mercury, you know, constantly thinking and trying to make things perfect, because they're earth, that's also applied to their physical bodies. Now, we can't say that, you know, the rising sign can tell us how we look. Not exactly. It is an armor, an energy that we're bathed in. It can show us an essence that we embody. And Virgo risings, because they're that Mercury ruled earth sign that's mutable, they like to perfect their physical body. So their physical body is yet another building block, you know, a statue, a sculpture that they like to chip away at and make the best, to try to achieve some ideal perfection that they have in their mind. So they take their physical health very seriously. They take their physical beauty very seriously, and they also take their mental health very seriously. These are like 3 very important things for a Virgo, and they will stress out about these things a lot because they're always trying to make it perfect. So if you insult a Virgo rising's appearance, just know that they're not going to take that to heart. They're going to take that to brain, which is even worse, because once something goes in their minds, they could be obsessive, and they will take your criticism. It will loop around in their minds, and they will use that criticism to perfect themselves even more. So it is painful for them, but it's almost inspiring because they take something negative, which criticism most of the time is negative, and they turn it into a positive in their way. They're always trying to find a practical use for data, even criticism. And you know, they also are prone to give unsolicited advice to people because they see people around them as projects that they can help fix. They're like I said in the beginning, they really do have a toolbox in their mind. They're the sculptors, and they not only want to sculpt themselves, they want to sculpt other people around them. And that's the mutable element again, like 2 different things at once, doing it to themselves, doing it to other people, which can land them in very odd situations because not everyone can appreciate Virgo rising's unsolicited advice and unsolicited services in terms of perfecting other people. So you guys don't just give that to everyone, because you're giving away your gold and it's just going to annoy them, it's going to annoy you and create a really bad situation. But you guys really are service oriented, just so perfectionistic. I will keep on saying that. You guys really do work so hard to achieve your ideal perfect fantasy in your mind. It is a fantasy, you guys, because perfection does not exist. I know, throw tomatoes at me, but it's true. Because Virgo rising uses logic to navigate the world, they need things to make sense, and they don't need things to just make sense. They need it to be like simple and clear, because they're clear communicators. Even if they can get a little nervous and anxious because they do have really, really busy minds, like they get aggravated when people can't just like tell them something simply, because they think that if you know something, you should be able to explain it in its most simplest form, because that is truly knowing it. So yeah, they need things to make sense around them, and they will obsessively investigate stuff until it makes sense, because that's how they feel safe. They are so logical, and they really are amazing, clear communicators, and they expect that in return. When something doesn't make sense to a Virgo rising, when it doesn't have any logic, like you could see the pain in their brains, like it just hurts them on that type of level, which is pretty funny. Because Virgo is that earth sign that's ruled by Mercury, mutable, they're always organizing their environment, because if their environment's like very messed up, that's going to reflect on their mind. It's going to stress them out. So they feel calm whenever they have control over that environment, whenever things are organized to their liking, and that makes their mind more organized. It's like a reflection thing going on. And also, they take their body seriously, like I said, so they usually have amazing hygiene. They smell good, they take baths, they're on top of it in that way. That's very, very important to them, and they're very health conscious. Like I said, they're always trying to find the best diet. They're just like so concerned with all that stuff. So when they feel like they have control over all these little micro details in their life, they're in their happy zone, and when that control is taken away from them, they feel very unsafe and unhappy. So it's really important that a Virgo has a grip on those areas of their life. in order to be a happy person. A Virgo rising is not someone who just sits there idle. They believe in moving physically towards goals and their idea of perfection, so they expect a lot out of themselves. They are hard workers. They're always working towards their ideals of perfection and chipping away at things. They're tinkerers, and they also expect that for people close around them. They're like, hey, get moving, get to realizing your dreams, because we have to keep working to make things happen. So they're very inspiring people in that way, and I love them very much. All right, you guys, what is a Virgo rising looking for in a relationship? Let's look to the 7th house and our descendant, which, if you're Virgo rising, is a Pisces, 7th house Pisces descendant. Now, does this mean that you have to get with a Pisces? No. It just means someone who embodies certain Piscean traits will be very good for you and will balance you out. So when a Virgo rising is looking for a lover, I have noticed that they kind of want to be the smarter ones in the relationship. And when I say smarter, I mean practically and intellectually smarter. So in partnerships, they are seeking a different type of intelligence. They tend to gravitate towards emotionally intelligent partners, which Pisces is very emotionally intelligent, because they understand they lack in that way and it balances them out. And they also want someone to be empathetic with them, because they are so hard on themselves. So they don't need someone else who's going to be hard on them. They prefer someone who's a little bit softer and can help them in that way, and can teach them about how to be emotionally stable and healthy and to deal with emotions, because that's not their comfort zone. And with Pisces being ruled by Jupiter, Jupiter's all about, you know, higher learning and expansion. They're perfect teachers for Virgo risings in this way. Also, they like a partner to see them as a fantasy, and Pisces energy is symbolic of those rose-colored glasses thanks to Neptune. So they can really look at Virgo and all the hard work they put into their physical bodies and, yes, see them as perfect. Tell Virgo rising, yes, you are perfect. And that really is great for Virgo rising, makes them feel amazing. And Pisces energy being in their 7th house is very symbolic of Virgo risings needing a chill element in an intimate relationship. They need someone to help calm them down, because they are prone to be very anxious with that Mercury and always striving for perfection and not feeling good enough at times. So yes, they prefer someone who they can live out more of a fantasy life with, you know, someone who can bring something different into their life, because they're so practical and logical. So if someone else can bring an element of fantasy romance, that can really balance things out, which Pisces again is perfect for that. So if you're a Virgo rising, how can you polish yourselves? I feel silly even saying this, because you guys already know this is what you do. You're always making yourself more perfect, but I'll leave you the tips anyway. So my thing is, I think that Virgo rising should learn from Pisces, incorporate that into their rising sign, just for the forgiveness element, learning how to forgive yourself and other people for falling short of perfection, because perfection is merely a fantasy. It is not something real, even though I know that's like curse words for Virgo risings. Of course it's real, but at the same time it's not. So really incorporating that Pisces energy into yourselves, just to forgive yourself, because you're so hard on yourselves and you work so hard. I admire you so much. That's all I'm going to give you. I don't feel comfortable saying anything else. You guys are so smart and you're already on it. So if you're interested in a Virgo rising, how can you capture them? Here's some tips. So remember, Virgo rising prefers to be the more classically intelligent partner in the relationship. So this does not mean that they do not like smart people. Yes, you have to be smart. A Virgo rising is not going to like it if you're not smart. They just want to be slightly smarter than you, and they want you to bring a different type of intelligence to the table. Like I said, emotional intelligence preferably. But there's a fine line, because they also want you to have your practical life together, which requires classical intelligence, and you have to have that emotional intelligence. So be smart, but have gifts of the heart, be nice, and take a shower. They don't like smelly people, because they're so clean. They take their physical body seriously. They don't want to be smelling you in your BO. They want to smell you in a good way. They want to know that you're clean, that you take your physical body seriously, that you can present yourselves accordingly in a very clean neat, organized way. So yes, make sure you're shiny, make sure you smell good, make sure you're showered, have gifts of the heart, have gifts of the mind, and have a job. Like, Virgo likes to fix hot mess people, but they also don't want to see that you don't have your practical life in order. Again, it's a balance. It's really hard to attract these people because they are seeking a great deal of perfection in partnerships. But yes, these are the tips. So just make sure you got your mental game on. Be kind. Don't be smelly, and have a job. You will be great, and compliment their intelligence. Anything you can tell them that makes them feel like they're embodying that perfect ideal in their mind will make their heart smile. If you want to capture a Virgo rising's heart, give them an area of your life to perfect so they can show off their skills of perfecting things and appreciate them for it. Let them know that you appreciate their service because they are service-oriented people. Yeah, you guys, I love doing this video. Virgo Risings, let me know what you think down below in the comments. I would love to hear. I really respect you guys. Virgo Risings don't give themselves any excuses, and they don't give others excuses. They believe in practical solutions to life's problems and working hard, and that's very inspiring. I have a cousin who's a Virgo Rising. I love her to death. She cracks me up. She reminds me of that little baby elephant in Disney's Tarzan, the one that puts its feet in the water and says, "Is this water sanitary? It looks questionable to me." Like, it cracks me up every time. That's so her. But anyway, you guys, I had fun doing this video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!